What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of HBO new series, The Penguin. Let's rock this. Hot damn, this show is amazeballs. I don't know how else to describe it. Yes, naturally, if you are fans of the 2022 The Batman movie, then odds are you are gonna enjoy this spin-off. But even more than that, if you're like me, fans of gangsters and mobster stories, then you are in for a hell of a treat because I have already watched the entire 8 episodes of the Penguin series, and I'm telling ya, this show lives up to everything that it promises and a bag of chips. On the one hand, the Penguin series is dark, bullish, and cinematic, and on the other hand, it's a riveting psychological thriller about the complicated relationship that Oswald has with his mom, juxtaposing that with the complicated father-daughter relationship of Sophia and Carmine Falcone. This is such an intriguing, absorbing crime drama that goes beyond just the shootouts and the power struggle, which in and of themselves are also hardcore and merciless. It's as if the writers worship at the altar of both The Godfather and The Sopranos. It's like a combination of those two masterpieces, and you place it in Gotham, using the same palette and the same tone that Matt Reeves had laid out. The Penguin is a near-perfect show. Starring Colin Farrell as Oz Cobb, aka The Penguin, the DC Studios series continues filmmaker Matt Reeves' The Batman epic crime saga that began with Warner Brothers Pictures' global blockbuster The Batman. Developed by writer-showrunner Lauren LaFranc, the series centers on the character played by Farrell in the film, executive produced by Matt Reeves and directed by Craig Zobel, starring Colin Farrell, Kristen Milioti, Renzi Felix, Michael Kelly, Shore Agdashlu, Clancy Brown, Carmen Ejogo, and Theo Rossi. Believe it or not, I actually managed to sit through the entire 8 episodes in just one single day. Yeah, some of these hour-long episodes are chattier than others, but I was engaged the whole time without a single boring minute, and they spread the love quite evenly among the key characters in terms of exploring how they got to be where they are today. Fascinating, haunting, atmospheric, and remember, none of these guys are heroes. Even Oswald's young protege, Vic, is by no means a gullible kid. And so to make people who on paper are technically villains become not necessarily likable, but they become people whose journey you want to follow and you kind of want to see them have some redeeming qualities, well, that is quite an achievement, which this show successfully passes with flying colors. Ooh, the violence on this show. I'm not gonna lie, the violence is kind of shocking and vicious. The Batman movie was PG-13, but the Penguin series is rated TVMA. So this one goes one step further. It shows a little bit more. The conflicts and the confrontations are more aggressive and bold and daring, and it pushes the DC universe boundary, so to speak. That sense of gritty underworld realism with a kill or be killed attitude. The characters are ruthless and only look out for themselves, which means any of the pawns can be taken off the board and those triggers can be pulled at any given moment. Now, Batman not showing up on the Penguin series doesn't really bother me. Hey, Gotham is a big city, and I'm sure the aftermath of the Riddler's catastrophe is keeping the Cape Crusader busy. Speaking of which, the ripple effect of that aftermath is felt throughout this whole show, and it impacts the characters on a level that motivates them to reevaluate their next move, especially Oswald, who is opportunistic and ambitious, at least ambitious enough to want to fill that power vacuum. But of course, it's easier said than done. And the ups and downs and the obstacles along the way and the people he has to get rid of to reach the top is indeed part of this show's main appeals. The set designs are remarkable. It's one of those cases where even though you know that the story is set in the modern world because they got smartphones and they text and they got all this other stuff. But some of the cars and some of the exterior interior sets look like they could have been from maybe 40 years ago. Of course, as I implied earlier, all of this is an extension of what Matt Reeves had crafted. And so director Craig Zobel and his team just kind of built on that, you know? But it's fascinating nonetheless. The cinematography provides striking visuals, many of which create a sense of trepidation, as if you're trapped within Gotham's turmoil. The dirt, the trash, the mess, the rubbles, the debris, bleak, gloomy, hopeless. This is Gotham at its worst. And so both the set designs and the cinematography amplify those elements to a point of discomfort. Now, let's talk about the actor, shall we? How incredible is Kristen Milioti as Sophia Falcone? She gives a powerhouse performance. At times calm, cold, and calculated, other times ferocious in a wild card sort of a way. And if you think about it, both Sophia and Oswald are like two sides of the same coin, which is also funny because they used to be in a driving Miss Daisy situation in their past. But what I'm getting at is both of them understand each other's incessant need to prove themselves. Because, especially for Sophia, she got betrayed and thrown into Arkham by the person she trusts the most. And just like Oswald, she has to claw her way back out again. And at the end, her power grab takes a page out of Oswald's same exact playbook. The dynamics of these two characters and the way they kind of mirror one another is nothing short of remarkable, and Kristen understood the assignment. Another performance that stands out that I think deserves to be talked about in next year's Emmy Awards consideration season is actress Deirdre O'Connell, who plays Oswald's mom, Frances. The way she plays Frances, who wrestles with not only her mental decline, but also the secret she harbors. I mean, Deirdre is just firing on all cylinders. She hits the targets every time and she doesn't miss. She brings out all of the complexities about Frances, who is essentially a tragic character, and it's not easy to pull that off. But Deirdre just knocks it out of the park, which of course leads us to Oscar nominee Colin Farrell. I read somewhere that he actually hated spending hours wearing that fat bodysuit and those prosthetics makeup. I mean, can you blame him? I'm sure he's sweating like crazy in there. But guess what? He is a good sport and he keeps on trucking, and it pays off because he gives a towering performance as Oswald on this show. He was already unrecognizable and transformative in the Batman movie, but here, I mean, with the waddling and the accent and the demeanor and the way he carries himself, Colin became the Penguin, and his facial reactions and his timing are impeccable. Don't get it twisted. Oswald is hell-bent and laser focused on manipulating and murdering people to achieve power. At the same time, though, Colin managed to find and capture a shred of humanity in that monster. It's like a privilege watching Colin do his thing. Do I have some criticism of the Penguin show? Not really. But if I had to be nitpicky about it, I'm not a fan of Mark Strong as Carmine Falcone in the flashback scenes. Look, Mark is a terrific actor, and I get that John Turturro is not available at the moment. He's probably currently busy with other projects, but Mark Strong replacing him just kind of throws me off. That said, it's kind of cool that Mark has been in three different DC roles, from that Green Lantern movie to Shazam to now this. Credit where credit is due. The guy knows how to cash in those DC paychecks. The same goes for the legendary Clancy Brown, who has been in a number of DC projects over the years and now playing Sal Maroni on The Penguin and does a memorable job. And so it's kind of cool when fine actors get to keep being employed in the superhero world. So yeah, overall I give the Penguin series the rating of 4.5 out of 5. This is a compelling visceral television experience, and it's a great way of bridging or connecting to the upcoming The Batman sequel. And like I said earlier, The Godfather meets The Sopranos in Gotham with Colin Farrell's masterclass acting at the steering wheel. The Penguin is a near perfect show.